The Singapore-Sweden Forum is underway, discussing Sweden's energy ecosystem. The growing use of nuclear has concerned some, with the country shifting its goal of 100% renewable electricity by 2040 to 100% fossil-free electricity. I'm pleased to say that Ebba Busch, the Deputy Prime Minister and Energy Minister in Sweden, joins us now. So, Ebba, thank you so much for joining us. You're in Singapore right now, so I actually do want to start over on our top story, as you are over there in Asia, with Trump having met President Xi today. Previously, actually, there were some trade officials that met over in Sweden. But from a European perspective, how important is it that we see this easing in US-China trade tensions, that they have a trade truce? Is there concern that otherwise European or Swedish companies sort of get caught in the middle of all those trade tensions?
Well, good afternoon from Singapore, and to dive right into it, of course. I mean, Sweden is a very trade-friendly, open country. We've built part of our prosperity both on the clean, reliable energy that I'm here to talk about during this week, but also on trade and building both economic value together with countries with whom we share the same value. And I mean, it's been a crude awakening to see our American friends become less dependable, more unreliable. And this, I truly hope that the way forward will not be more of the trade wars that we have seen under the first part of the second Trump administration, but rather an easing of relations and trade relations. And this is, of course, important from a Swedish perspective, but also from a European perspective. But the hard-learned lesson is that Europe needs to sharpen our own competitiveness and do our own homework, and that's what we're doing.
And Ebba, switching gears here to talk about some of the geopolitical tensions from Russia to the Middle East, and how those are influencing Sweden's energy diversification plans. Because, of course, we're some 3 years into that Russian invasion of Ukraine. So how resilient is Sweden's energy system today to some of these external shocks?
Well, I would say very resilient, and that is not something that has come by itself. It has been a strategic goal to secure our sovereignty through an energy system that cuts our dependence off of countries with whom we do not want to be connected with. I met with President Zelensky just last week as he visited Linköping in Sweden for the large affair on purchasing JAS Gripen for the future. And we see on almost a weekly basis how Russia has weaponized the energy system of Ukraine and is set out to do the same with other countries unless Ukraine wins this war. And this is the reason why we have done our homework and said we're shifting away from 100% renewable to 100% fossil free. And we are now at a very extensive plan to build new nuclear in Sweden, expecting the first application for new nuclear by the end of this year.
And with Sweden part of NATO now, how has that approach to energy security changed since then, especially when it comes to now coordinating with allies?
Well, I would say that the security perspective on energy issues has truly been enhanced. Without energy, no industry. Without industry, well, no defense. And without defense, no sovereignty. So I'm actually asking all of my colleagues around the European Union to knock on, that are interested in defense issues, to knock on the doors of the people responsible for energy issues, making sure that you have dependable electricity where it is needed and when it is needed, because there's a huge difference between just adding installed production capacity through renewables that is not necessarily available where and when it is needed. And this is the reason why Sweden is saying we need to move away from the battle of the power sources and see to what power sources can provide affordable energy where and when it is needed. And that's where baseload comes in, that's where nuclear power comes in, and that's the reason why we're seeing the renaissance of new nuclear power also throughout the European Union.
But Ebba, what do you have to say to people who are critical of this use of nuclear power, and it's concerning to some? How do you address that?
Well, I take it very seriously. I mean, I'm a Swede. We're a rules-based country that puts security issues very, very high. But if you look at the municipalities and local communities that have nuclear power in Sweden, those are actually the communities that has the highest support for nuclear power. So the more you know about nuclear power, in Sweden at least, we have seen an increase in support of nuclear power. Because let's be frank, it's the only way we can answer the impossible equation of whether it is possible to increase economic growth and at the same time decrease emissions without cutting back on our living standard, rather increasing it. And to get that equation to work out, well, then you need fossil-free baseload, and nuclear power as the answer is going to be the answer for many countries. And we're seeing this discussion also emerge here in Singapore. But take security issues seriously, but learn from each other. You don't have to invent the wheel once again. You can have this sort of see if you can streamline the permitting process as well, also when it comes to security issues and waste disposal, where Sweden has come a very, very long way.
All right, thank you so much, Ebba Busch. I wish we had more time with you there, but thank you for joining us from Singapore, the Deputy Prime Minister and Energy Minister of Sweden.